It's 3:20, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get started on this. Because I'm feeling emotional about a couple things, and so then it's like I gotta talk about this. So, but sometimes it's like, well, I gotta talk about this, but maybe that's only gonna take me 5 minutes. But I don't know where the filler comes in. There'll be more, I'm sure. Um, but this stuff right here, like, dude, I can't even tell you. Like, I get so excited in the morning now to go in there, and I wish that this light, because even if I turn it off, it would be too dark in here. You wouldn't be able to see. But but it is this hair is so much darker. It's crazy. There's such a small amount left, and it's just kind of like a highlight almost. It's almost gonna be like, I wonder if I'm gonna miss it. I'm so used to this highlighter on my face, which is funny because my mom, okay, I'm already going off. Uh, not seeing this coming. Okay, so okay, so when I was, it's crazy because we do have to go against so much just from the start. And, uh, I came from a very shallow family, 100%. And things were very much about looks. And so there's pressure on you too when that is a thing. And you know, and I always felt like uh, I was really weird looking. So, you know, I always thought like, you know, I was weird looking. That's all I know. I was always weird looking. And but there's also this weird, strange thing that I knew I had power because of the influx of sexual attention from a very young age. And so it has like a, I don't know, there was a point definitely when I was like, I don't, and looking back at this Dickie stuff, I can see, or I was so manipulative, that I recognized that I was manipulative. And I was like, so I had it in my awareness. So I became more like trying to be hyper vigilant over, am I trying to manipulate them? Am I trying to get something from them? Am I being real? Am I being honest? Am I being forthright? So I had that awareness a long time ago. But it's to me, you know, don't be hard on yourself or anything. Because to me, I swear it's that I have an advantage because I have this communication that, you know, helps me to see things more clearly. That's why I want people to understand it's a benefit to connect to your spiritual side of things, because I'm telling you, it helps you through life. Because when you don't, say the other side, that you don't go and deal with that stuff. You can go through a whole fucking life of manipulating people and you don't even mean to. You don't even know why you do. You know, it was something that you learned when you were a kid and it started working or whatever. So you learned how to do it and then you take advantage of it. And then when this happens and the lights come on, then all of a sudden you see yourself, and you've done this for 30 years, always trying to get what you want from people, tricking people, using their own insecurities and ignorance to your advantage and stuff like that. All different ways people can manipulate. I mean, that's one big thing that is in our vision right now is people in power to get sexual gratification by other people who want a job or need something, whatever. People get what they want. You want that, then you're going to give me what I want. There's so much of that in this world. And so it's like we were kind of set up or trained to be manipulative. So that is one thing when you are refacing yourself, put things into balance. Don't just go hard on yourself, because that is going to be the initial response, is because that's how we've been programmed. And so your initial response is going to be to really go hard on yourself. But you have to sit back and take time to really evaluate the situation, really look at things in a deep, hard way, and work on your communication, because they'll help you through it. That is one thing. You know, they can't stop you from making mistakes, but they are there to help you see the benefit of the mistakes. They'll help you to understand, like, hey, this is a good thing. Don't get all sad. And they'll help you to see things, and you learn so much. And it helps you to be a better person, so that then you don't turn around, 30 years later and you're like, fuck, I've been manipulating people for so fucking long. I didn't even know I was manipulating people. God, I'm a hood rat. So you got to really just be... Just be kind to yourself, no matter what your history is. I mean, and remember that the universe doesn't hate you. Don't get that in your mind. Like, even if you've been a dick and you've got a fucking fault line of miserable people who you've left behind, the universe doesn't hate you. These people. But then once you have a reunion on the other side, that it's not, they don't, you can't move out of this plane of existence and hold resentment. That is where this purgatory that I'm talking about, this area, this plane of existence is like how I see it. That's so true. Because it is like, it keeps showing in our atmosphere, in the layers of the sky. So when you, oh man, something just weird in my eye. So when you are looking out, like how I'm seeing it is like, you take the earth core, you take the earth, and everything is layers out. Like everything is like this spot, and then it just bleeds out from there. And it's all these different vibrations. And I don't know, I just was questioning, what is the earth's core vibration? What are we vibrating from? And it must be from the low vibration. That's where we get this matter. Oh, so it is a low vibration, because it's something about it being a low vibration but being so beautiful. That's like I'm always hearing this Deuteronomy or something, like these two opposing things. Like, this place is so magical and so beautiful. At the same time, it's so miserable and full of pain and suffering and anger and violence. And so it's like two worlds in one. And if you go to the core, it's weird. It's like a beautiful thing being dropped in the dark, and then to see how it grows. But that is on such a different level of the soul stuff. Like, that would be if you were going back to, Gaia or Earth or whoever, the being that is what we know of as this planet. That being, that energetic being, because it's one being. It's not a whole conglomerate of beings. And that is so fucking, I never thought about that before. But you know how they do all those stories of, like the story that just came into my head was something, I don't know all these stories, like these stories of Athena and these gods, and then how they show, like, there's a lot of these stones and stuff, these mountains and stuff that look like beings were giant and they were in movement, and then they petrified, like something happened, which that's not what's going to happen here. If it happens here, then just keep in mind that our souls would just leave and go to, because we're not stopping this story. So the story is going to continue. If there's some remnants left behind of this period of time, of a war or something like that, which there's a lot of places where this stuff is going underground right now. It's going under. It's level. It's these levels. And then when you're talking about this atmosphere thing, and you look out, so if you were looking at the thing there, it's these levels, kind of like this light thing, and it has this goes out in the vibration, but it makes like what is like, it looks like rings going around it. And so this purgatory ring, this other space, you can't go out of that until you release what it is that is holding you there. Everything that holds you back is things that you hold on to, that hold you from level to level, to move freely through all vibration. And so that is how I see it. Like, I think once you break out of the, like, the, whatever they want to say, like, people are always figuring out these numbers and shit like those, fifth, sixth, whatever. I think Mateus DeStefano is so interesting on Gaia channel, but I would love to talk to him. Yeah, there's some people I would just love to talk to. And God, I'm wheezy. Oh, that's a big thing I wanted to talk about, is some of that stuff. I was not even seeing it going this way, because there is pressure when you are raised in a certain family. You know, it's like I said, every guy that I would bring home, and Mom didn't get to see, she would have been very, you know, oh, you better stick with that one. But after that, it was like, this is where it was like out the gate from my starting, you know, like, he's too good for me. He's very good looking. He's so full of personality. You know, he's up on the stage, and all the girls love him. It was like very intense for an insecure person. And that, I don't know. Because I was not somebody who just thought, I've never been somebody who thought that because somebody looks good that they must be a good person. I've never had that. I mean, I can remember being a child and seeing some of the, I mean, I've had men, fucking grown-ass men, grown-ass married men up on me. So when I was a little kid, you know, trying to kiss me and fondle me and stuff like that, you know, it's like you're fighting them off. I'm a fucking get. So I don't know. There was no illusion to me, like, oh, look at that guy. He's really good looking. He must be a really good person. He must be better than the rest of us because he's good looking. So he came out good looking. No, he came out good looking because he's supposed to fucking, as part of his challenges. You know, can you be a good looking person and still be a good person? We'll see. So because that's a challenge. Not everybody can meet it. A lot of people, oh, I'm a good looking person, so I'm gonna be a total dick. And see, that is where, when I was younger, and it's weird how I could have that, know I had this power, but still be so insecure. Because it's just weird, like how many times I would be told, you know, but that I fed the insecurity so strongly. But I definitely did not just pick people over looks, but there's definitely, you know, that, like, you'd have to come from that kind of thing. Man, oh God, I'm getting so many flashes of so much hypocrisy in my world. Like, there's so much to decipher as a child, you know, to find yourself, you know, your truth. Where do you stand on this stuff? And, you know, it's definitely a challenge. And you got to remember all the things you come in, even something like that. You come in real good looking, that's your challenge. You know, everything is your challenge. People got to start seeing, like, you know, when you're in your challenge and then you just fall down crying, oh God, it's too much, God hates me. You know, that is your childish side. And once you get into your spiritual side and you start being like, you know, oh, this is my challenge, okay, like, what do I do with this challenge? And it may take you a few times, you know, you may take, you know, things to change, you know, you may be like, oh, well, I'm not gonna do that anymore. And then, you know, you go further into it, you know, you see you around some other people and you understand, like, I don't know, the whole thing is about learning to have awareness of yourself, you know, having awareness of yourself. What are you talking about? What are you saying? What are other people's reactions? What is your behavior with other people? What is it when people don't agree with you? What is it when you're trying to express yourself and people don't listen? Like, there's all different things. There's so many different levels to go through to manage yourself. So even if something happens in another thing, you just gotta remember, these are all just challenges. They're there for you to, you know, assert yourself to another level, another level, another level, because that's the micro, macro, that's everything, is this moving through this vibration. Your vibration puts you in that little dark circle, and then all the vibration that it leaks out from there that is available to you, and it's like a fucking soul coming in and riding the surf. It's like riding the wave, and then you have these challenges. Well, if you were a surfer, those fucking things are challenges out there. This is like you're a sports warrior. I mean, you're developed for this. You're here for this. And when you get yourself like falling down and whining and crying, I'm the victim, oh, poor me, poor me, poor me. That is when you are too much in your own pain. I told you, see how pain, it holds you down to this fucking level. And so your pain, and emotional pain is the same. Your physical and your emotional. Your physical is an expression of your emotional. And so, fuck, I just heard that one. Oh my God. Because this pain that I have, like when this inflammation starts, and last night I kept getting these leg cramps, and I've been doing the magnesium spray, and like I can't even believe how, like, definitely the more magnesium, the faster my hair is turning. It's like crazy. And I made some magnesium spray. I think I already told y'all. But I got this bottle and I used it because they said something about dogs need it too. And so I was using it on stuff. But then I started seeing everybody saying, spray it on your feet when you go to bed and you'll sleep really good. So I was like, fuck yeah. So I started doing that. And then I just ran out, but I wanted to make my own. So I was like, well, I'm going to make my own. Because how do you know if this is really good? When I'm pretty sure that this was pretty good. Because I was having, my hair was already changing, but it is changing faster with making it my own. So I got the magnesium bath flakes, and you get it like a big bag of it, like Epsom salt or something. Only it's like $20, $25. But you only take like a little bit, and then you put it in here, and you're supposed to put distilled water. I just put the well water. I don't have distilled water. So you're supposed to put distilled water and the magnesium flakes, and then you put some drops of essential oil, which I put lavender in mine, because I bought a lavender essential oil, a big one, and that shit is so potent, and you can add it to all different oils, like you can add it to different oils to give your oil of fragrance. Like if you like to put all the oils on your skin, but you kind of miss the, back, because I was a big on the Bed Bath & Beyond fragrance creams and stuff. I wore those lotions all the time. And everywhere you go, people be always like, oh my God, you smell so good. Like, I love that stuff. But I'm not going to buy that pervert. And then not only is he a piece of shit, but also the poison. Like, fuck her. So I stopped I've still got some that I stopped using. I loved that stuff. Like, man, I was fucking at those sales, stocking up. I buy enough to last to the next sale. Sometimes I buy enough to last a whole year. But anyways, I used to love that stuff. And I used to shower every day, put it on. Oh my God. I'm just so dedicated to the looking good and smelling good. But now we know it's all a fucking way to keep us sick. Getting all of our protection off of our bodies, off of our hair. Like, that's what they're always trying to do, is strip us down. So, okay, let me see. It's all over the place. But, okay, I'm just, okay, I'm just going to go this other thing. I'm all over the place. Just deal with it. That's just the way it goes sometimes. If it closes, it's just like, and then, like, right now, though, it's just like there's a lot open. It's like, fuck, I could go on that and talk for a while. I could go on that and talk for a while. Like, there's just a lot of stuff. Our mental health is very complex, and it is so tied. Like, people don't understand how much our emotional health, like, that is what we're here expanding on, because that is what gets your vibration higher. I can't even fucking stand it when I see these people just like, go meditate for 20 minutes, drink some woohoo tea, and your vibration is raised. Just say this affirmation 3 times and you're good. It's like, this is so fucking misleading. Like, and I know that there's people out there listening to these fucking people. And then they're frustrated. They're like, fuck, man, I'm doing something wrong. Because this is, oh, fuck. This is this part where they think like they're doing so good, but they're doing so bad because it's making the plant, like these people are frustrated because they're trying to do something they can't do. They're trying to do something that they're not supposed to do that way. And this is the part where this repression is being done. And this was something I wanted to talk about too. I forgot about this one too. Fuck, man. So, on my account, when they repress it, because I know there's other people who were pushed by their guidance or their internal drive was pushing them to go out and share their knowledge, their information at this certain time. Like my guides, like I said, they were like, I'm putting up with it anymore. Like I pushed it too far. They just turned on the light and get up. I was like, oh, good God, I'll do it. And then, I just had to do it and just get over my fears. And getting over my fears is what grew my confidence. That's the way it works. And so so when they're putting all this pressure on you and they're telling you, get out there and do this work and say this and say that, talk about this, and you go do it. And then nothing happens. And you're like, what the fuck? You want me to just go out here and talk to 10 people? That was all you needed? And then all this communication will come. Yes, that is very important. Those 10 people are very important. That ripples out. So Vortex, you've been important since the beginning. And so so it goes where you start having these conversations and stuff. And at some point, we're going on 4 years now. And I was very, I've gone through a lot of different frustrations, especially when I hear people giving so much misinformation. That just drives me fucking insane. So many people listening, like so many people are listening to so much of the wrong information. And that is on all these different levels. So people who have a deep understanding of spirituality, we can recognize this. People who have deep understanding of money, we all have different things that we can perceive in this, shenanigan. And okay, hold on, because I'm getting off track. I start having too much talking in my fucking head. I'm telling you, I'm always talking at the same time I'm talking. It's hard to. Okay, and everything to me, definitely like yesterday. All of a sudden it seems like fuck. Everything is sped up. I think it was a couple days ago. And at first you think like, fuck, am I just super busy? Like what's happening? But now it's like, fucking something's going on. It's sped up so much. It's like I'm just like running from thing to thing to thing. It's like I can't. Man, it's weird. So okay. So So then when my and nothing's going on my channel and it keeps sitting there, and then it'll start to go, but then the dark comes in and represses. And so, I've gone through this so much over these couple of years, and there's been so many conversations with them, and so much of where I learned that, like, there's a whole reason to how these things go, and there's all these lessons. So as it goes on, whether even if your account blew up real quick and get everybody on you, then it would taint how you were talking because you have too much coming at you. So that was a valid thing. It is less interference and more information, and everything's going to turn, and then people are going to want the information, but it's better to not be having so much coming at you with this information. So that is one of the things. Then another thing is like somebody's account who goes real quick, then there's all sorts of lessons. Like they have shown, there's all sorts of lessons. So every single way that everything plays out, there's lessons behind it. There's nothing that is the right way or the wrong way. Everybody's got lessons in everything that's going on. But on this thing, because I know I'm not the only person who was pushed into, going in this direction, which I'm not going to say they pushed me, because they pushed me into becoming me, which is fantastic. Because it's so crazy, because sometimes I'll be doing stuff and I'll be thinking, oh my gosh, this is how I always was. And I was just like always repressing myself to try and, not be too weird around them. Don't be that weird. So anyways, it's just, it's very freeing just to be like, that's why it's like going back to being a child again and just being like, hey, So the, hold on, I'm getting lost again. Okay, so I can see my own personal growth. But on the thing with the information, this is what I got this morning. That it really hit me because the last couple days, like there's been more, like they've let YouTube or the universe, whatever's going on. There's another shift. Well, I've gone through so many of these ups and downs. As soon as my people start finding it, then all of a sudden there's this dropping all my stuff off and closing my account. Like it always just goes in these waves of, and I can't get caught up in it because it really gets me frustrated, and it can make you feel sad and defeated. So I can't go in and just keep looking and looking and looking, and but when I go in and see, because I got to go in and check for comments, I'm like, if I'm not doing, like, what's the point? And then I'll see numbers and stuff, see things that they change and stuff, and it's frustrating. But all of a sudden, I've been getting these emails from these. So one of them is called VidQ, and another one is like, I think, YouTube Assistant or some, I can't remember. But now all of a sudden they're sending me these messages, like if I want to help build up my account and I can sign up, like you have to pay them and they'll help you build up your account. And this is what I wanted to talk about, was because I feel like that there's people who'd be like, oh, that's what I got to do. I got to do that. And if that's what your guides tell you to do, then do that. But you got to recognize if that's your ego telling you. And because my guides are very much about, when it's time, and they're in control. I can sit back and whine and cry and have a fit. Well, I'm not going to do it anymore then, or whatever. And that would be my choice. That would be my lessons. That would be. But when you keep pushing through and keep trusting them and not doing that stuff, because when you go do that stuff, it's not going to make the change. The universe is in control, not these people. They can try and give you ideas or whatever, but to me, it's a facade, and they're trying to get people to pay for it. And I feel like that there's people who know that they're supposed to be getting their information out there, and they've got all this repression, and then they think, well, that's going at it in a three-dimensional way, because that's playing their game. Oh, well, we'll help you out. We'll help you out. No, they're not doing shit. They're taking your money and giving you the illusion of sharing their information. But the universe is in charge. And when the universe, and I think it's going to be a slap dunk real quick, that there's going to be all of a sudden this, like, boom, there's a whole bunch of accounts like this. And there's going to be a whole bunch of people talking about stuff that it was different than what was being said. And that is going to make, some people who have been out there yakety yakking are going to, have a red face, because there's going to all of a sudden be all this other information that they didn't know. They didn't go out and learn and do research. Like, there's people, like, there's a lot of us, we may have not been a huge crowd, but there was a lot of us that were spiritual for a long, long time. And we were very focused on it. It was driven inside of our souls. And it was, I can't explain it any other way, except for it's a drive inside your soul. It's a calling. You can't stop it. But it's a part of the role. It's a part of the whole social dynamic that is supposed to occur. It's not something that's the special ones or whatever. It's all different roles. It's just like, it's not, it's just the thing that helps to turn things. But there's gonna be, definitely, as all this stuff is going and all these things are happening, there's gonna be this, like, boom. And then there's gonna be, in all different groups, because there'll be a group, where all these people are like fucking cult, and they're all following a bunch of nonsense, like, but, and I was even, because I heard something that some kind of CIA, because a lot of people go on these CIA files and stuff. And so then I was thinking, I wonder if some things are worded in certain ways or something. Because I just know my guys have never, ever, ever, even if I sit here and go, I just want to get to the good part, let's just skip this part. No. That's where you're learning. That's where you're growing. You don't skip it. So these people who are constantly, just on the daily. Get up and quantum leap, quantum jump into your best life. Like skip over, do your affirmations and you skip through all the hard parts. No, you have to actually do the work and raise your vibration. Actually releasing your pain and suffering raises your vibration. Forgiveness, letting go of things, that's what raises your vibration. That holding on to that is what binds you to this vibration, is what holds you back. And that is where, like at this nucleus I see, I swear he's like this beautiful thing. It's like, it's almost like the earth, being this beautiful spirit, went in to challenge the dark. That's why I say it's like some of these really old stories, like these old gods and goddesses kind of thing, and went into the dark to challenge it, and then is bound like in this forest, and it's being held, and it radiates out. It like radiates out messages, and it's like, I mean, on a certain level, we're like bacteria or something. And because everything's micro, macro. And so, and you could go bigger, bigger, bigger. Just like, well, we can look around and see, like, fuck, people used to be pretty big. They're fucking mountains now. But I think, I don't know, it's like these gods, because everything is not like this linear time. And at some point, it was like these energies merging, and this thing creating this environment. But the environment is of two things, because it is light in the dark. But that is like a part of our lessons that have gone through these ages of us being, like I said, in this beautiful place. But yet these certain people try and turn the place to not be beautiful. They try and just jack it all up, take advantage of it and stuff. Oh yeah, because the other day I was even thinking about this with a tree. All of a sudden, I was seeing, hold on a second. I was seeing, I saw these trees. I think I was driving, and I started seeing like these tree houses, and seeing, I was seeing a whole bunch of things. I was seeing like these people making these houses out of these trees, but it's like the trees being part of the house. And it was like I could feel how much the trees love that. It's like the trees working in sync with us, like in harmony, like this developed kind of partnership of coming together. And it was like the trees loved it. And then I was like, well, what about the trees when they get cut down then and they're used as wood in houses? Do they feel like they have purpose from that? And their purpose is more hidden. But it's like, I don't know. It was like, it was weird. I was like, well, that was weird. Like the stuff that comes into my head is so fascinating. So okay. So anyways, if you're in that thing where you're like, well, maybe I'm supposed to do this and do that to make my account blow up. Maybe I'm supposed to do this and do, and then especially if it has to do with giving some control over to some third party and giving them money. And those are lessons. Because what we're supposed to be doing is learning how to trust on timing and stuff. Like, there's a plan here. You're not in charge. They're not in charge. Nobody is in charge except for the ones who, and we all signed up for it. Like, well, I'll play this part. I'll play this part. I wonder if it's like soul groups. Well, we'll take this. I think on the micro macro, it's like soul groups are like the same thing as like these different islands of like how I see it is not so much of how we are in America. We're just like all these different people from all these different places all in one place. And I know there's a lot of that in some places, but there is other places where there's not. where you can go to some places, and just like that guy from Romania saying, the Romanians just want Romanians. Like, we're Romanians. We don't want all these, don't send us your Haitians, your Venezuelans, and all that. So that's what I'm saying is like, I look at it when I see like, I'll see like an island over here. This is all the people from India. You see one over here. Oh, that's all the people from Saudi Arabia. Oh, there's the Egyptians. There's the Africans. But then there was this, but this is like, I don't know, like the same thing as like aliens, or like tribes. They're a different group. And then on this sub levels and stuff, you would start to recognize, oh, there's soul groups. So that's what I'm saying. And everything is a grid on top of a grid, on top of a grid, on top of a grid. Like there's so much connection. We're all so connected through this, I don't know how to explain it. But even though we're all different soul groups and tribes and stuff like that, we're all at our core, that's all learning techniques. That's all like putting on the outfit to go learn over here. But it's weird because then it's also, you have your soul things, because that's where it gets so like trippy, is because there is like, even where those some of those soul, like some of those beings, we're asking them like, how do you get in this container, how do you get out of it and stuff. And so it is because a lot of these ones, it's like, it's more like your soul is okay, so you take your energy, and it's vibrating a certain vibration, which creates a certain color, which creates a certain vibrancy. And so that's what you are. You're just that. The same thing as when you look up in the sky and you see that up in the sky. That's just like what we are. That's just souls. And sometimes you can talk to them, and if they are part of your thing, you'll see them, they'll react, they'll zoom down, they'll do something. And so then you can know like, oh, they're listening to me. You can go out and talk to them and stuff. And it could be, part of your soul group or something. I don't know. But anyways, that's what you are at your core. This color, this vibrating movement of energy that isn't like a compacted, like there's a nucleus, like you are this thing. And so, and you're moving and vibrating super fast. And so out here in certain levels, then it's like they express themselves. And so it's like an expression of self that creates an image. But then there's other ones, because now I'm kind of seeing like in some of these places, there are ones that are birthed in, but there's other ones that are not birthed in. They aren't. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That is so interesting. Because there is like, from something that I've understood is like, you get to a certain sense of light bodies. It's not like how this is what, like when they did this whole thing, like in the Sumerian tablets, they talked a lot about how we were so much like animals, and we would get on each other and grunt and hump and all this like caveman-y kind of, and then it's like what they've tried to bring out in people, this very animalistic, sexual, don't think about anybody but yourself kind of world. And but that was a part of like what we were like in the beginning, and we kind of grossed them out, like, ew, good. And some higher vibrations, see, they don't do that. It's more of like, how I see it is like, okay, like on the Pleiades, and I'm not sure, this is just what I'm seeing, is like two people, like I'm two people in love, but it is almost like that they could go up and touch fingers. It's like they can touch forehead. It's like they can just touch and exchange energy, and it gives the same thing as like where we go and search for an orgasm to feel this like sensation go through our body, that they can do that sensation of feeling this ultimate connection and to their mind, body, soul with another person through this other form of sharing vibration. So it's not like that they're all having sex. So how, like, they don't birth babies in, and maybe there is like some kind of a thing where a baby is just, a soul is just delivered to them. A soul just comes to them, you know, like, I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't think, you know, they're not just popping out babies all the time. That's another part of our thing too, is seeing, you know, taking more responsibility for ourselves in all different ways. But it's like we came here to experience these parts, to learn these parts. And, but anyways, so it's not like that in every single place. Some people, some of the souls are just, you know, their own light, and there just shows up as so beautiful. And then other ones, because there's other beings and stuff that are, you know, beings, like aquatic beings, the lion beings. Now I heard somebody saying that we all, our DNA comes from the Lyrians. So I don't know, because there was a whole bunch of people here, apparently from the Sumerian tablets, that this planet was getting, you know, really done in with no Vaseline. From all different people were coming here and mining her and taking her resources and using her. Like, she's gone through a lot. And then, I mean, it's really kind of sad. And then it's like, you know, a person taking care of their kids their whole life, and then their kids turning against them, kind of, you know what I'm saying? So, but that is where we haven't even realized our connection to her. That's like this awakening part. That is what I was saying, like working in sync and harmony with the planet, like the trees and stuff. Like they yearn for our connection. It's just as we yearn for their connection. But the connection's right there. It's a grid system. But we are, like I said, there's always this interference. And they use distraction and stuff to interfere on some things. And some people, you know, just don't even think about the planet. A lot of people don't think about shit. So they are just stuck, and I don't know, there's a lot of voices in their head probably. So they probably just have weird conversations all day that they have no idea why they're having them and who they're talking to. They think they're talking to themselves. They think they're crazy. That's one problem that we have too. There's so many people who think they're crazy. And it's like, come on, you guys, you're not crazy. You gotta start recognizing what's going on in your head. That's the whole thing about this emotionally maturing and learning your own ways and stuff. Oh yeah, because of the magnesium thing, because I've been spraying it on my feet a lot. And but last night I started having these weird muscle cramps. Like I would move my foot in a weird way and I started having muscle cramps. I forgot about that when I was a little kid. Every night I had nightmares, and every night I have fucking muscle cramps. Now I'm like, okay, that's weird. Okay, so I'm putting minerals back in my body. So is there, like, because I've seen these doctors saying you can't overdose. You could take so much magnesium, you can't overdose on it. So, and your body likes it. But is it showing a lack of something else? Like it also needs this to hold up how much I'm bringing in. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take some of the mineral salts. It's hard because you don't know for sure your own mineral, your own makeup, you know, and then we can't really trust them to tell us shit. I'm sure once we get more into this quantum reality, then those kinds of things, like I really don't think we're going to be feeling pain and stuff anymore. I think it's going to be like we're letting go of pain. We're letting go of all of this stuff that held us down into this vibration, because it is like this vibration is where that stuff can be felt. Because in the higher vibrations, like you can't feel it. Like I'm on pain and stuff. It's like so many different things. Because so it is like our planet. Okay, so our planet. Okay, I get like this heaven and earth thing, because there is like up in the higher vibrations, there is like light body people, and then there is other ones like us that went through an evolution, and there's beings like how we're humans. There's lots of, I just heard this too, is that there's a lot of humanoids out there. Like it's a lot of humans, but I don't know. It must be something. I don't know. We're not going to know until we get to go out and explore, and then you have to go and compare different worlds. And then even if you started trying to compare, you wouldn't really have a real comparison, because then you hadn't gone through existence there. So see how then it just starts. But then once you start existence, you only have it from one perspective. You got to go from this perspective. Well, what if this happened? You got to go from this perspective. You got to go from this one. So that's what I'm saying. It's so vast. The universe is so fucking vast. But I don't know. All I know is that we're going up into this range, and where there will be beings that have moved out of the, but it's also the we're moving out of that. Like, it's trippy. It makes you think like all these different beings, Lyrians, the Syrians, the Blue Avians, that's am I going out of the frame? That is he is so motherfucking cute. I can't even believe it. Yesterday I went up to the shot clinic. They had this little shot clinic just by chance. I went and picked him up, and my neighbor sent me this thing and said, oh, there's a shot clinic tomorrow for free for the dogs. I was like, what? That's so crazy. And because when I picked him up, then the lady who gave him to me said, oh, he still needs his shot and microchip. And I'm like, what? They're not supposed to bring any to me that need that, anything. And so then I get in the car, and then this thing pops up, and I'm like, what? Okay, I'm going. And so I made the plan to go yesterday. It was an all-day thing. It was fucking, I just sit there all goddamn day. But he is so well behaved. I just couldn't even believe it. He is the cutest little thing. He's got so much personality. But then when he got his chance to go in there, which I do not want any of these goddamn things. And it's very concerning. Like, how, I don't know, even after they did them all, they were like, okay, well, you gotta wait 15 minutes because pugs can have a reaction. I'm like, I want to adopt this little motherfucker. Like, I'm the worst foster. I gotta stop this. And I swear to God, I think he's Morty returned. He's got these same big eyes, and he just sits and look. He does some stuff that is just so Morty. And I'm just like, maybe Morty did come back to me as a little guy. He's like, hey, I'm going to come back, and we're going to hang out a while. I don't know. He's so cute. But yeah, that's one of the things where you got to trust the universe. You can't go into panic mode. Oh, I'm just going to get him. Because I ask, how much is his fee? Fucking Max was $200. Guess how much he is? They're $900. And then, and he's, somebody's in Seattle had 2 of them and surrendered them. They said, well, I can't take care of them. I've got too much going on. This is going on all over the place. People are so overwhelmed by their lives that they're just giving up their dogs. And that's why we are so overrun with so many dogs, and they're just killing them. They're not even dealing with it. They're just killing them. And so anyways, this lady gave them to, because they were pugs, or some kind of pug mix. They look like pugs. And she gave them to the pug place. And the pug place agreed to take them. And she, I don't know, apparently they're saying that she hadn't done shots, but then they had her do the microchip or something, but he didn't, he was chipped. And so is Max. And Max is, he doesn't have one that was a person. It's just this place. So I got to change my name over on his. But on his, so he had a chip, and then he had to get a whole bunch of these. And I took him back. I came back and got Max and took him up there too, because of the dewormer and the fleas. Because when I took him to the vet the other day, which that was so motherfucking expensive, I couldn't even believe it. Neither of them, they could. But neither of them had anything in their anal glands. There's no motherfucking way Stella does not. She is so damn smelly. And maybe he didn't, but he kept itching his butt constantly, and he'll go crazy trying to chew back by his tail and stuff. And so when you look, they're like, oh, that's parasites. So I'd already done that. Then it's like, oh no, that's what was the next thing I'd heard? It's let's see, it was the parasites, then it was anal gland. And so I made that appointment, went to do that. And there's, oh no, there's nothing in there. So, but he has fleas. And so then I was like, oh, okay. So then I came home and was doing the natural stuff. Because they want you to have an appointment, go in, get a prescription. Like, it's expensive as shit. And the stuff that they give them is expensive. And so but it's driving him crazy. Like, he keeps chewing and chewing. And so I didn't make the appointment. I came home and looked up all the things for natural, and I've been doing that. Like, I put all this diatomaceous earth on him, and then I put some in his food. I gave a bunch of stuff to kind of try and repel him, but he keeps chewing. And so I don't know, like, it's crazy how all these dogs all have something going on right above their tail, which makes me think that's got to be some kind of a part of their filter system. And because that's just too many dogs. Two of the three at my neighbors have the same place where they're chewing back by their tail. He is, and Stella tries, but she can't reach back there good. And so but when it was Archie's turn, they couldn't even believe it. They were just carrying on about what a well-behaved dog he was, and they just had never seen a pug be so well-behaved. He just sits there like a little Joe. He is the cutest damn thing, and he's really small. I don't know how much he weighs, but he's very small, especially because I'm so used to her being so big. And I thought Max looked small. And he's 36 pounds, and I thought he looked small next to Stella. But now this little guy, I would say they guessed him at 15 pounds, and I was thinking maybe 18. So he's really tiny, and I know they're smaller because my mom has all these small dogs. Because Belle over at my mom's is like a little 5-pound dog or something. She loves to play with Stella, and Stella's always so gentle with her, so cute. But they're still getting used to each other. He definitely is not keen on the big dogs. He's definitely scared and intimidated. And he's going to have to learn, that she's safe. And then when at first something comes in, she's very assertive. I'm not going to say aggressive, but she's pretty, very assertive. It's like she's setting the rules. She's letting you know who's boss, and you better fucking be on top of it. And that is the thing that I was so impressed with Max, because he was so submissive, so, so respectful of her. Stella says, he drops it. He's like, I'll just sit down here. Like, she makes a peep. When she lets them know, like, no, hell no. And she's but that is one thing is why I wanted her to be a part of any other dog that I ever had, because she's just the coolest. And, but, I got to be the hall monitor for sure over, hey, that's enough, stop that and stuff, because she does get, and they can't bully him, take his stuff. So, anyways, they had said he was so adorable and stuff. It only made me just want him more. It's like, oh my gosh, he's so well behaved. He is so well behaved. He's such a little cutie pie, and he does lay around and sleep a lot. But when he gets down and starts playing, because I thought it was so funny when Max would start playing, he runs, he drops his butt. He's like I keep on hearing like a whirling dervish or something. I don't know if there was a cartoon that had this little thing. He's like a little, I don't know what, and he drops his butt and he starts running like, it's so funny looking. It's like out of cartoons. But yesterday, so I came back and got Max. I had kept him with me because I didn't want to just leave him by Stella because he'd be panic attack, but also because they said that he needed to be watched after the things. So I wanted to make sure I had him with me in case he had a reaction, because they said like stop breathing and shit. So God, my throat. So I came back and got Max because I wanted him to get the flea treatment. They wouldn't give it to me unless he came. He's itching, but I wanted to make sure he got that. God damn. He goes into panic mode. He even snapped at somebody. He is so anxious. I'm going to start giving him CBD for his anxiety. He takes it a lot. He likes it. But he always looks like real, like somebody who smoked a lot or something. He's just like, fuck, man. And it's hemp CBD. It's not THC CBD, but he always looks like he's real. God, I feel lightheaded real quick. Hold on. There's a couple more things I want to talk about. Where am I? Oh man, there's so much stuff because I feel like I could talk so much more about each thing, and I feel like I'm leaving off on all these different parts. But anyways, I am keen on adopting him. We'll see. The universe has the same thing in mind. I have no idea. That's where you gotta learn to trust and just go with the flow. Because if he's meant to be mine, he'll be mine. Something will happen, the money will come. Because right now I have the money, but it's for the roof. And I've got to do that roof. And my son-in-law hasn't got here. He's trying to finish some side job. And whenever he comes, then I need to be able to give him the money to get this stuff for the roof and pay him. So I can't go, especially that's just like, fuck, that's frivolous, man. $1,000. And like, dang. Well, I mean, when, you know, when you're saving money and stuff. And then I asked somebody else, because the one girl goes, well, I'll check and make sure. Because I was like, what? Because I asked. Like, he's here for a couple hours. I'm like, how much is this guy? He's just so damn cute. And so then when she said 900, I was like, what? I was like, dang, I was thinking maybe 300 or 400. I mean, God, what was max discounted? Like, they were like, nobody's going to take this guy. But, oh, when they came back in from the shot thing, because they bonded there, they got closer. And so when they came back in, they started playing. And Archie does the same thing. He drops his butt, and they look like these two little, like, I don't know what to call them. These two little creatures are running around, jumping over each other. It was so cute. It was so much like cartoons. I'm telling you, my life is going into cartoons, and it's sped up. Everything is going so much faster, and it's like I'm in a cartoon already. But, okay, let me see. So one of the things I wanted to say, so over in Florida, because they've got this massive hurricane coming, and that is bumpered by another one, because there's people who are going and looking at the next weather pattern and stuff. So they're really focused on this Helene, which hit Mexico, I guess, yesterday. It's going to be hitting Florida. When is that today? It's hitting? No, today's Thursday. Did it hit yesterday? I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm so lost on this stuff. But the thing that got me was the person who was showing this one video. They were showing the sea was already at the level, like it was like a sidewalk kind of thing, and where the concrete is down, and so the water, is normally down. The water was already up. It was already in the streets. And she said the hurricane hadn't even started yet. She's like showing this, and she's like, I'm really concerned because it hadn't even started yet, and the water's already up this high. So that is like, and they were saying that this is going to spread really far. It's going to have like a huge effect. And what was this? It seems like there's something, okay, because they had the train thing, where it's like, fuck, if they start blowing up goddamn trains, maybe that is going to be like what sets up, like maybe they have a certain pivotal point where they're trying to do some of this stuff to set some of this stuff in motion. Because it is like that they are trying to, okay, so if they think if they can kill us before we wake up, that that is their illusion, because they don't ever fucking advance as souls. They don't realize we're already advanced. Like, you don't be concerned if people who don't wake up and then they die, is that they are not going to be able to be tricked. No, they're not going to be able to trick people and keep them back. And then they don't even know their own future. Like, I don't know. Like, the ones that are being done by the, the squad, that they are, like, there's ones that are being done in, but then it's their soul. Like, that's the thing. Is like, where does that go? What happens with that part? And, like I said, some seem like they're bound down to this energy block. And then some seem like, well, they're not going to advance. I mean, like, fuck, you'd be stuck in purgatory for a long fucking time. How would you even face all the shit that you've done? Like, I don't know. I don't know. But that's not our story. you know, so we're not them, and they can't hold us back. So even if they're trying to kill us off real quick before we wake up, because they think that that's going to hold us back with them, it's not. You know, they've done a few too many resets. This is different. And this is the universe doing a reset. This is, things are changing. Worlds are changing. And so they're out. Like all this dark that has been able to keep us tricked and stuff. I mean, there's so much like more being exposed on that governor. Like what a POS, man. He I'm really, really hoping that this Marcellus thing was of something, another part of the show, and that he's waiting to come out and tell some smack on these people, because, yeah, I think it sure seems like this governor has been a part of some serious crimes, and that he's trying to cover up his crimes. So, and there's that, he's not going to be the only one. I mean, we got fucking all these people. That's the thing. Like, what do you do when you got the power? You know, are you still good? And then when you got all this lurking over here trying to pull you in, do you have the power to stay out of the dark? So that's what some of these people are learning. Some of these people are learning their own weaknesses. And so, you know, and there's no way for us to know, like, you know, these are all different soul groups, all different lessons, all different things. And it's like, most of it is like Nunya. It's like, now our business, like all these different souls and their lessons, that's their business. And it's not for ours to sit there and, oh, well, you know, explain it to me, tell me. And us, we're here to judge. It's like, no. Sometimes it's like, I don't even want to know, because it will trigger a judgment inside me, and I don't fucking need that. Because as soon as you fucking start judging shit, then the universe is going to show you the error of your ways, and then you're going to get to see it in a different perspective. And it's like, fuck, I don't want to judge anything. I just want it all to just be. Just let your lives, live your lives. And I don't need to go in and judge it so I can go experience it, so I can be like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess so. It's like, fuck, no. Just everybody do their own thing. It's your lessons. And so the so whatever's going with that, then this video I just saw, this guy was saying that the 911, I'm not sure, I was trying to think, it's like, I think this guy's on the West Coast, but at first I was thinking, is he over by Ohio? But he said that there was a whole bunch of 911 calls, and all these people have been calling 911, but when you go look and see what they're all calling about, everybody's calling about weird smells outside. And he said there was some that were talking about it smells like sulfur. It smells like something died. It smells like all these different things. And he was saying, and he went deeper into it, and I'm pretty sure he was saying, I think the next thing he said was an earthquake would wipe Seattle out. Seattle will be gone. Which, yeah, I already know. Like, I've already been going over that. And it's on the map and stuff. That's where it hits in. So when the tsunami thing comes in the ground, like when all this shift happens and the water comes in, see, it hits right into Seattle. Like, I'm like, Seattle would be here, and then this peninsula thing goes around and circles around Vancouver. And then it has this little, like, jetty or whatever, this thing, this land part that goes out that creates this part. So the water has to come in a lot further in on this part. Seattle is right there, you know, just like San Francisco, Seattle. LA is close to these beaches, but it's not like right on the beach. Like Seattle, I've been to LA a lot of times, and I don't think there was any part where I ever walked down and I was walking along the beach. Seattle, you can go down. Like, that's down where Pikes, it's like a harbor town kind of thing, you know. It's like the boats come up right there to the city. So Seattle will be wiped out, and that is what is concerning, is because that's our evacuation route. That's the only fucking one from over here. is the 5. And they're already saying the 5's gonna be fucked. And I already know, like, I feel certain that in the movies, wherever they show that, that's the 5. And all these cars are just stopped and just sitting there. Nobody, there's no way out. The only way out is up or over. And up would be going towards Canada, which would be close. But the only thing is like, are they gonna, you just gotta, whatever, go with the crowd. Follow the crowd of people that are walking or something. And who knows? Like in some of these movies, they show like there would be people out with soldiers out there stopping us from I think it's gonna flip. I think when this shit goes down, that's when things are gonna flip in our favor. And so, and I don't know. I mean, these things are gonna happen. Like the land masses, when we're in the process of them changing, there's big splits that are happening all over the place. Texas is split, California is split, Africa is split, Turkey split. I think over by Missouri or something, there's splits that are happening. There's splits. Everything is splitting. It's tearing apart. The world is changing. And at the same time, there's going to be like our history coming up. It's like going up and going down. Like this part is going down and old stuff will be coming up. And so we'll be learning, but it will also be renewed. And so we'll be creating something new. But, we still got to go through this insanity as it goes down. And so, when him saying that about all these people having these smells, because when I go out here, I'm always, and I feel like I'm super, super sick, because yesterday I sat out there all fucking morning. I left at 9:30. I left at 9:40. And then I thought, oh, well, who's going to be there to take the car? If it opens at 10, I should go get water first. I'll run and get water, and then I'll just go. So I went and got water. And I should have gone there first, but I made a choice, and there's consequence. And so I went, and I don't think it would have made that much difference, an hour. But so I went and got the water and went back. And when I got there was already 57 people. They were only seeing 100. And so, in all the people, there was somebody handing out numbers. And so you were seen by your number. But luckily, the cat and the dogs were separate. So the dogs, we went in our number sequence, and the cats had their own. So that was helpful, but it was hours. And it was pouring rain. We were all sitting under these things. And so it was pouring rain. There was tons of people, though. There was like so much dogs and people in this thing. Everybody was so excited. And it was crazy. One thing I saw was like, fuck, people are mean to their dogs. Like, that's one thing that communities really need to do in their development, is teach people how to communicate with dogs. They just communicate out of frustration, and it makes them look like they have no control over their emotions. They're yanking their dogs, yelling at their dogs, hitting their dogs. It was just like, oh my Lord. And it was intense. It was so intense. And then it was raining. There was all and I live in a rural place, so it's a lot of poverty. So when you question, like, oh, well, she's always saying they're poisoning them, why are they poisoning them? Because they don't give a fuck about poor people. They don't give a fuck about dark people. They don't give a fuck about poor people. So, yeah, they're going to poison us, and then they're going to try and make us all sick. And then we go in, and, I'm sure there's going to be people I'm sure there's lots of people around here who've got fast-moving cancers and don't even know it yet. And because they don't do any detoxing. They don't know that the shit that they're breathing in and eating and drinking is all a chemical toxic cocktail. Especially like what I said, when they go in certain areas, like whatever they're putting in our air is going to go well with what goes with in their water. Like they have pairings of these things. So there's people who, and it's so complex because it's going to hit each person differently. It all depends on your chemical makeup. So, but they set the stage for us all in the beginning when we were little kids, So, yeah, but there's also something with your DNA, and there's also, don't forget, there's something with your mind. Your mind can fight back. Your mind can, and your body is going to tell you the battle you're fighting. It's going to motherfucking hurt. So so it's a real, but you use your mind, keep making yourself be healing yourself and stuff. So, anyways, I had been talking about for a while that when I go outside and I smell these weird smells, sometimes I'll smell this smell, and there's so many times where I feel like it smells like bleach, so strong of bleach or chlorine outside. And then you start feeling sick. And lately I've been having so much, like I've been taking the Manuka honey at night, a spoon full of Manuka honey, because my throat is so hurting so bad. And I just know it's the GAS. I just think about what they have used as the weapons before, back a long time ago. They would make it like our group would be like, well, we're in danger from that group, so we're just gonna gas them. We're just gonna, and we've got all these cool, whatever their Agent Orange and all their fucking gas. So so they get us to go against other humans and think that they're our enemy. So we go, oh, well, that's okay. I guess if they do that to them, it's sad, but they shouldn't try and get us. It's all their illusion of this fucking game or whatever. But now it's being shown to us, no, they don't give a fuck. It's not like they're going to use this shit on us, and we were okay with them using it on them. So this is where the universe, gives you these lessons of seeing things. So I just know that these gases are being, especially when you see the fog in the morning, like, because if I go out at a certain time, like all throughout the night, like I'm up all fucking time, all throughout the night, 2:30, look out, it's fucking perfectly clear. Well, how magically then is there all of a sudden fog? It's like all of a sudden around 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, as soon as the sun thing starts making its rounds or something, and all of a sudden there's just tons of fog, where people would say, well, that's because it's changing, because at night it's cool, and then as the sun comes up it starts being heat. But it goes all year long. Like, there would be certain times a year. This is going all the time. It's all the time. It doesn't matter if it's summer, it doesn't matter if it's spring, it doesn't matter if it's fall, it doesn't matter if it's winter. Like, it's every fucking time. That's not natural. That's weird. There's some artificial fucking bullshit. So, oh shit, hold on. Super forgetful. Forgot I was making beans. I was gonna make hummus. Oh well, I burned a whole bunch of beans. And all of a sudden I could smell burning. I'm like, what the hell is burning? Remember you started cooking this morning? Jeez. Okay, so anyways, so going out and smelling this stuff, and sometimes it'll make me feel like I feel drugged or something. And I've said before, sometimes I come in, I can't stay awake, and then sometimes, you get all these allergies. Yesterday, the leg cramp starting thing, I just got to keep watching. I don't know what the fuck with that thing. Like, I hate that. You just turn your foot some weird way, and all of a sudden you got cramp in your leg. It's like, oh, God, I had that all the time when I was a kid. But so anyways, with that guy with the 911 calls and saying about all these smells, especially sulfur, then I was like, I sent it to my daughter, one of them, then Yakima, because that really is like, fuck, I kept on being like, trying to look at the map and see like, will they be safe and stuff. But once it goes to where, if Mount Rainier goes off, they won't be. And they're even saying that tsunami is going to come in and fill the Yakima Valley. And they live in the valley. So that would be, I don't know, so fucking, it's like, you just got to just trust and everything's going to be fine. Like, but it's not going to be fine. Like, there's going to be a lot of tragic shit. But we got to move out of this physical because that's the illusion and go back to the spiritual. There was a moving video I just saw too of a guy. He had a dog for 14 years and his dog died and he's been broken up about it. And it's been a few years and he said he was, I don't know, he was at a park or something. And there was something that happened. I don't know if he thought of his dog or something, but all of a sudden he saw this like fog that looked like his dog and he could feel his dog. He could feel his dog's presence. And there was a whole exchange that happened. And the guy, it was so emotional and stuff. And he's like, I don't know. It was so real. And that's, yes, this is real. That is what's real. That's what they've cut you off from. This beautiful side of life that is real. The spirits and stuff. And they don't leave you. They come and they hang out with you. They help you through things. You know, I like Dickie has been helping me through things, like 100%. Like there's a reason why he is here, you know. And then you see like, fuck, man, we're so connected to these people. Like even in our booking all that time back, where we, you know, it was very significant to me, our relationship, but still to everybody else, it's like, oh, that was a long time ago. Well, big deal. And it's like, yeah, but you don't know how it impacted my soul. You don't know like how that person became a part of me from that point on. And, you know, to the point where sometimes, you know, like you'll feel mental, but then, you know, once you all of a sudden, it's like, oh, it's because we're connected and and are all here for each other and stuff. And just because you can't see somebody doesn't mean they're not there. And so, but you know, there's gonna be people who are gonna be leaving the game, and I don't know who all, you know, and I can't sit here and just think, oh, it's gonna always be somebody else's, you know. But I hope. I mean, that's horrible. It's horrible, but we all do it. We all do it. We all see somebody else's person, something happen, and we're all like, oh, I'm glad it's not me. You know, we all have that. And so I'm not gonna feel bad about it. But anyways, yeah, I don't want anything to happen to the people I love. I don't want to feel a bunch of all go through that. Like, god damn, this is so intense. And but you know, I have great hopes for this heaven on earth thing that, you know, we're gonna be able to see them better. They're gonna be able to interact with. I don't know. I don't know. There's something to all of this shifting though. It's taking us into this whole other thing. It's like taking the earth out of it's not like we're moving. It's like the dark is receding because the dark is being managed because there's so much light. It's managing the dark. It's like it's repressing it. Just like in the never ending story, it's pushing in the dark back. And so pushing the dark back is what frees the earth. And the earth has the freedom to then expand in this other vibrancy that is all of us creating this vibrancy. And that all of this connection, it's like a whole nother leveling to this connection. And the dark being receded, and then the light being, that is what is this like heaven on earth. There's so much light. It's so beautiful. It's so, you know, it's the place where we find peace, where we don't feel stressed out. We don't feel like we're in competition with each other. We are at a sense of peace. But see, you got to do the work, like I'm saying. You got to get out of that sense of judgment. You got to get out of the sense of hatefulness and the world's out to get me, poor me, and all that. That's what all this work is about, is working yourself out of that illusion that holds you and binds you into this dark reality. And so the more you let go of that and move yourself, that is the work. You don't just skip it. You don't quantum leap into the next phase. Like, you have to take the steps to do it. Like, this is so, some of the stuff these people say is so absurd and artificial. It's so 3D. It's so like their lens that they look at spirituality is so three-dimensional. And spirituality is a totally different world. It's like these two worlds merging. Don't look at this spirituality through, you know, like where they want to tell you to, you know, pay them and they'll do your account. That's absurd. The account, every single thing is destiny. It's going to happen the way it's supposed to happen. You going and doing these things unless your guides tell you, because you can have but you got to recognize if it's your guides or if it's just your ego driving you. Well, they said you're going to be super famous, you better get out there and you better do this, you better do that, because that's what the people in 3D tell you, this stuff. And so it's like, no, you gotta sit back and be like, no, the universe will tell me what it's gonna tell me. It's gonna show me what it's gonna show me. And I gotta sit and just, be prepared for what is next. Come for what is the next thing. And so, but so many people get caught up in the illusion that they gotta force it, they gotta create it, they gotta make it happen. No, you got to put steps towards what it is that you want. But if you're making steps, it's not up to you to do all the rest. So it's this, it's like in the sense of you trying to do somebody else's work. It's like you're not giving anyone else the chance to do their work. It's like you feel like you've got to do it all. And so you got to sit back. Part of the learning is sitting back and letting things happen, letting things flow, letting things come to you. Then knowing what to do when they do come to you. Don't lose your mind. Don't get mad. Take the information and reevaluate it. Sit with it. Sit in reflection. That is so important, to sit in reflection. And so anyways, I've been talking a while, so I'm gonna get off. But hopefully, I'm not been too crazy this morning. But these smells, like the sulfur especially, like that really makes me think like a volcano. And there is a thing about some of the volcanoes are gas. And this is when I was on the HOA over here, and one of the other girls was a geologist, and she was telling me, like, I think she had been studying the volcanoes or something, like she knew about volcanoes, and she said that some of them are gas, and then when they erupt, they put out this gas, but the gas is super toxic and it will kill the people. The other ones that do the other with the flame and the lava and the smoke, then that causes a problem with all the ash, and then also with it blocking out the sun. Just like when we have all the fires, if you're in a place where you get a lot of smoke, it blocks out the sun. So it's the same kind of thing. After the volcanoes, it will be blocked from the sun, and all the ash or the gases will come out and kill the people. So, and one of the earthquakes over here, or one of the volcanoes over here, is the gas one. It seems like it's Mount Baker, because they already said Mount Rainier has already got two, what do they call those things? These hallways or whatever. That's weird too, because that is what it looked like in Cabin in the Woods when they show that thing. That is weird. But so the two of these things, whatever they call them when they're talking about volcanoes, are already full of lava at Mount Rainier, and they're still not saying anything to the people. Like, they're not. And this is the thing, is like a lot of people are like, who are watching all this stuff and are monitoring it, and they keep on being like, and the news isn't telling people, nobody's telling people to be aware, or be prepared. But they have done a lot of that, like, well, you guys be prepared to evacuate, but they did it in a way that just kind of created more fear and more questions. And so I don't know. You got to be smart. We've got to be paying attention. And so pay attention to the smells, because the smells are significant. And some of them, I think, are, the whatever go over by me, what we're being poisoned with. But some of the other ones are nature speaking out and saying, hey, shit's about to go down. So I had sent that to my daughter and said, be aware of the smells, because Mount Rainier is right above that. Like, that's fucking creepy, man. And it's not like they're right there, but you can look at the map and look at Mount Rainier and then look at Yakima Valley in Washington State, and you can see, like, fuck, yeah, that would not be a good place. And then they're saying the tsunami, like, if it's the earthquake thing that's going to go, like, this area is fucked. But it goes, the weird thing is on the map, it goes up to the mountains. It doesn't go, the valley is there. It's like the mountains become our barrier to keep the water from coming in on us. And so the valley will be there. So I don't know if it's going to come in and flood, and then that'll be like lakes, and then people will have to build around that part. And it will always be like, oh, it's all our dead friends down there. Like, I don't know. Like, fuck. This is intense, man. So, and there's no, like even when people are having all these dreams and stuff, it's like your guides are trying to prepare you and communicate with you. Yeah, I feel like that they're trying to get us like to be on high alert, pay attention. The shit is, heating up. But if the tsunami comes, and they're saying that water's gonna go fucking straight ass up over the mountains and go into Yakima Valley. That one I have a harder time, like, fuck, because I gotta cross those passes and shit when you're driving. It's like, fuck, the water's gonna be that high. They're saying it can be like 975 feet high, which I don't even know, like, how tall is that? Like, I mean, I know it's fucking, like, I don't think you would even be able to see the top. That's the thing. That's the thing, too. Is like, if that goes down, see, that seems like it's like a part of everything breaking apart. The firmament, everything. It's this is wild, because we got so many levels. We got the levels of our reality breaking apart, the levels of our landscape breaking apart, our mental reality breaking apart. Like, there's so many levels of all this stuff that is going on, and everybody's at all different levels. So, just keep going, that's all you can do. Is like, every day, just like I said, can't Jake Paul this shit. Every day they knock us down, you gotta get your ass back up, and just pop back up, just keep going, and keep remembering what you're doing here, because that's what's important. They want to distract you, they want to keep you confused. Their hopes is to keep you where you stay in their little fucking rotation and stay their slave for a little longer. But the truth is out there, and the truth is this evolution of self. But you are the one evolving yourself, and the way to evolve yourself is letting go of shit, doing the work, taking the steps to advance, not playing games and jumping around and shit like that. God, there was a lot of stuff more I was going to say about a lot of things. But anyways, I just keep rambling all day long. So we'll see. Maybe tomorrow I'll take it further on some of that stuff that I was talking about. But anyways, you remember what you're doing here is learn how to love yourself, how to love everyone else, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.